Hello, my name is Turner Hunt, and I'm here to talk about a person who's made a difference in my life. Now, some people have mentors who are people outside of their family who help them discover who it is that they are, whatever they do. And this person usually isn't related to their family and is a family friend. However, I don't have somebody like that. So the person that I'm going to be talking about today is my uncle, Sid. He and I are very close, and he's taught me a great many things. Now, don't get me wrong, so have my parents, but this speech isn't about them because that would be easy. My uncle's name is Sid, and he's one of my closest relatives. Now, my father and their brother and sister grew up in the 50s in a really small town none of you ever heard of called Luke. My real grandfather, who was their dad, was a drunk, and he abused them and my grandmother. He beat them, worked them to death, gambled away all their money, and on some occasions even shot at them. And despite this, they all turned out okay no matter what it is that they have to say about each other. My grandmother divorced their dad when Sid was in 7th grade, and they moved to Lubbock. Sid would do many things in Lubbock, like drag race, his 64 Chevy hot rod pickup, and go hunting. Now, like my uncle, I'm an avid hunter. I don't keep that a secret. But most of you don't know why. And it's not just because I like to shoot stuff, except pigs. I enjoy the outdoors. I like sitting in a deer stand and looking at the wildlife. It's peaceful and quiet and helps me forget about school and homework and writing the speech. I also enjoy firearms, so hunting is a perfect combo. But there's a lot of responsibility that goes into hunting. And Sid has taught me that. And responsibility is a very important thing that most people don't have, and I still haven't even mastered. When you're hunting, you can't just do whatever you want. There are rules. For example, white-tailed deer have to be a certain size. The antlers have to be at least 13 inches apart from one another on the inside, or only have one point on an antler, like that one right there. Sid has also taught me how to distinguish animal tracks. For example, a deer is very different from a raccoon, but that's easy. However, a pig's and a deer's tracks are kind of very similar. A pig's tracks are usually wider and deeper into the ground because a pig is heavier, and a white-tailed deer's tracks are usually narrower and, depending on the size, have the little 4 imprints on the back. Now, after you get your meat back, you do have to cook it. You can't just let it rot in a freezer. So he and my dad have taught me how to cook some easy things like steaks and hamburgers out of the deer that I get. Now, Sid and I also like to fish, and though I may not be the best at it, I still enjoy it. He taught me how to tie a fisherman's knot and what kind of baits to use for the different fish that we fish for. He also taught me how to drive a boat, which isn't as easy as you might think. But there's also another side to hunting and fishing that most people don't know about or want to admit, and that is that it's good for the environment. It's important to the ecosystem, and it controls the population of animals. It's how the environment has worked for millions of years, dating back to even the dinosaurs. But my uncle and I aren't just about fishing. As I touched on earlier, we love cars, especially classic American cars. We talk about them all the time. We talk about what we like and what we want, and he tells me stories about him and my grandmother drag racing when they were kids and all the wrecks that he and my dad didn't have because they're the best drivers on the planet. He's into Corvettes and old trucks, and I love Mustangs and Chargers, and there's a little classic car lot in Cleburne where he lives, close, or at least close to where he lives, and we stop at it every time we pass it. And on road trips when we go hunting, we try to find the old cars out in fields that people have neglected out in the middle of nowhere. We stop at little car shows in the parking lots whenever we have time, and it's just something we both enjoy. Now, I can't explain it, but because of how much we like cars, he's taught me to an extent how to take care of my own car, and that if you do work on your own car, it can save you a lot of money. Dealerships and mechanics charge a lot to do the little things that you can easily do yourself. So Sid has taught me how to change my own oil, brakes, and spark plugs, and he and my dad taught me how to change a tire and fix a flat. And for some reason, I just enjoy these things. For some reason, I find it fun to work on cars. Sid's also a handyman. He can build a house from the ground up, including the concrete, and build almost anything out of wood. So he's taught me how to work with my hands and how to use certain tools. We just got done building a deer stand. That's not finished, but it is now. We just got done building a deer stand last summer. And because of this, I've slowly learned how to work on my own guns. I can put scopes and attachments on them. I can also take them apart enough to clean them. I can reload bullets too, which is good for saving money. And another thing I learned from him is that it is important to believe in something, even if that something is nothing. He's slowly teaching me about religion and the Bible, and he's the one that got me going to church. And because of Sid and others, I can now to an extent take care of myself, except when I'm doing laundry and the dishes. All of this ties into a sort of self-reliance, which is something most people don't have anymore. We rely on others to feed us and fix our homes and cars and appliances, even though most people can do that kind of stuff by themselves if they would just try. So one day, I would like to not have to rely on others to get things done, and I would like to do things myself. But until then, my mom can keep doing the laundry. Thank you for coming to my speech and letting me waste your time, and just remember that you could have been at work or in class right now, so you're welcome. Thank you.